Dean Dublin, it's hard to think only 3,000 Welsh supporters can create such a noise in a stadium that holds 40,000.
Yeah, that's loud. That is a very, very loud anthem. I mean, the USA anthem was outstanding, but 3,000, it sounded like about 30,000. That red wall was very noisy, very passionate. Some of my old teammates are in and around me as well. Ewan Roberts is here, Blake is here, Nathan Blake, Big John Arts and Ashley Williams, who's on our team as well, but they were all singing the anthem, punching the air. They're all with their country, Deno.
Well, we've given you the starting lineup for Wales. Rob Page making those two changes from the side that beat Ukraine in Cardiff back in June, with Mepham for Allen and Wilson surprisingly starting instead of Kiefer Moore. This, though, is the United States team. Matt Turner of Arsenal, 4 appearances he's made in the Europa League this season. He's in goal. Serginho Dest, Walker Zimmerman, Tim Ream and Anthony Robinson. The last two, of course, of Fulham. At the back 4, Weston McKennie, who hasn't actually played since the end of October. The Juventus midfielder, along with Tyler Adams of Leeds United and Yunus Musah in the midfield, a teenager from Valencia. And then Chelsea's Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent from Norwich City and Timothy Weir are the front 3. Wales are in all red. The United States are in all white. And in the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, 12.5 miles west of Doha, Wales, their moment is finally here. A moment that Rob Page had talked about, saying yesterday that we will be ready and the players will be fired up. And in fact, Ian, I don't know if you just noticed there, I know there's a little bit of distraction going on around you, that Gareth Bale, when he handed over the pennant to Tyler Adams of Leeds United, the US captain, not only was it the Welsh pennant, but he also handed him the bucket hat. It seems that quite a lot of the Welsh supporters in that red wall away towards our right-hand side are also wearing the red, the green and the yellow.
Brilliant, absolute, what a lovely touch that is as well. You know, good handshake there from the two captains. My two business partners are here, they've got their bucket hats on, they'd come all the way from Wrexham, so they're within that red wall somewhere as well, in those hats. It's going to be an interesting game, this one, because I know how physical and fit the US team are. Wales possibly a little bit more technical. In their huddles now, Gareth Bale's doing the talking in the huddle. He's the one with clenching his fist and looking at all his players. Nobody's talking but Gareth Bale, leading them to the start of this game.
Abdul Rahman Al Jassim from Qatar is the referee, as there is a roar from the Welsh support as Wayne Hennessy just runs over that bank of red shirts, predominantly in the bottom tier, but there is also a chunk in the middle tier away towards our right-hand side. It's a day that generations of Wales supporters have yearned for. It's a day that Wales will cherish, and a place in World Cup history, because the 64-year wait surpasses the 56 years that had been set by Egypt and Norway, the longest gap between appearances in the tournament's history. And Wales are back competing on the biggest stage of all. And it's imperative that they avoid defeat.
Yeah, not just avoid defeat, but be brave and go for the win. You know, I really believe that they've got enough to do so. Stay in the game early, find the pace of the game, and then stamp your authority on that game.
So the United States, predominantly in all white, are playing from left to right as we look quite high up at the back of this main stand here. The ball is played forward by Connor Roberts, the right wing back for Wales. There are a number of actually empty seats, red seats on that far side, so it's not quite a sellout that holds 40,000 here. As the ball comes back into the midfield, and Ampadu couldn't quite hold on to it, now picked up by McKennie, who's got his hair tinted with the red, the white and the blue, as that was a strong challenge from Ampadu on Dest, who plays his football of Milan, and it goes out for a throw on this near side. So Rob Page down below, just taking his seat. Just look across towards the left-hand side, a very casual-looking Greg Berhalter in a dark T-shirt, beige slacks. The first person to represent the United States at a World Cup as a player and also as a manager. As a free kick has been signalled to the US. It's I don't know, about 30 yards away from goal. Hennessy was outstanding. I know he's played little football for Nottingham Forest this season, but for his heroics alone against the Ukraine in June, he keeps his place as the number one as far as Wales are concerned. But this is a free kick that the Wales defence have lined up on the edge of their penalty area. Also got two in the wall. Looks like it's going to be a ball that is going to be arced in here for the United States. It's Pulisic, flat delivery, cleared by Ramsey, and then it runs away from Dest, and out of play it goes for a throw. Earlier, of course, England in Group B beat Iran by 6-2, and you've just heard our middle commentary of the three. Senegal 0, the Netherlands 2 in Group A. Tomorrow, Rick Edwards live from the Tiramisu Lounge in Doha from 6 o'clock in the morning. The Five Lives breakfast will be reflecting on both that England win and for what hopefully would be a positive Wales result as well, with James Collins, Nathan Blake, Alan Shearer, Ian Rush, as well as Rob Green, some of the voices you'll hear with Rick tomorrow morning. Pulisic away on that far side, the left. Challenge comes in by Roberts, out of play it goes for a throw. Pulisic, who I think performs, or seems to perform better for the US than maybe he has for Chelsea.
Yeah, dangerous, fast, always tries to find those gaps in between full-back and centre-half, with pace as well, so concentration on those runs from the midfield players of Wales, keep him quiet.
Qatari referee has just been having a word with Nico Williams as Pulisic prepares to take that corner kick on that far side, the left for the US. There are 6 white shirts to aim for inside the penalty area as we look away towards our right-hand side. Wales have got everybody back bar 2, Wilson and James. In it comes, and the header out now by Chris Mepham. They were looking for a foul there on Harry Wilson. Quite clearly that those two staying wide, Wilson on the right and James on the left for the potential counter-attack. Pulisic with a cross, headed up in the air by Joe Rodon, headed further away by Mepham, and then the cushion header is just tidied up by Weston McKennie in the midfield for the United States. As now it's with Dest on this near side. Weir all the way back. It goes to Walker Zimmerman. And now with McKennie, lifts the ball forward, looking to try and get Weir away on this near side. Nico Williams, the left wing back, brings it away and it's done well. And not only that, he succeeds in getting a throw.
Yeah, that's good. That's good play. That's good defending. You can see there's a little pattern forming already down the right-hand side for the USA. Dest and McKennie and Pulisic all trying to link up.
Goes back to goalkeeper Matt Turner. He plays it out quickly out from his feet towards Tim Ream. As Wales tried to press, and now just dropping back is Tyler Adams, and it's with Zimmerman once more. Seeing a lot of the ball in these early stages, the United States. 5.5 minutes, you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. We're also available on BBC Sounds, and if you have joined us late, on most smart speakers, if you just ask BBC Sounds to rewind to say 7 o'clock, you go back to the start of the commentary. And certainly if you miss the national anthem at the start, it is worth rewinding just for that. It's able to do it because, as always, land of my fathers, certainly never ever fails to disappoint, and wait as well for the red wall to trot out. Yema Ohid, which translates to Still Here. Folk song that really has resonated with everybody in Wales, and certainly symbolises so much of what they've tried to do, both in the men's game and also the women's game for Wales, as the ball is played out by Ben Davies, and out it goes towards that far side, the right. Cushion header back by Connor Roberts. And now with Rodon playing at the heart of that three. 7 minutes played, still 0-0 here on 5 Live. Just the 3 games today. We've got 4 for you tomorrow. And after Rick Edwards and Rachel with 5 Live Breakfast, our coverage starts at 9 in the morning. Argentina against Saudi Arabia at 10 o'clock, followed by Denmark, Tunisia, Mexico, Poland, and France, the world champions, against Australia at 7. We're of course 3 hours ahead of you, so it's going to be a rather late finish. I hope the traffic on 12.5 miles back into Doha is not as problematic as it was arriving here in the navigate the speed bumps. Felt like I was on a roller coaster ride at times coming into the stadium here today. If I struggle to look to my left here, dear, it's because I've suffered whiplash.
A bit of whiplash.
As a chant of USA, USA pipes up around this stadium. They're dotted around all over the place, are the American supporters. It's not centred as much as that red wall behind the goal towards our right. Pulisic on the left, inside to Musa, laid off to Anthony Robinson, forward ball to Tyler Adams now, and then a triangular passing movement, and there is Pulisic, well-timed sliding challenge coming in from Nepham. As I said about Yema Ohid, that's what the Wales supporters now are singing in that bulk away towards our right. When it's in your head, it's very, very hard. It does exactly what it says. Still here. It stays in your head. We're seeing a lot of the ball, but not getting round the back of Wales in the slow, saying that they have now. We're high ball forward, touch, crosses, first time, good save by Hennessy. What a reflex save that was. Came off his own player, it was Joe Rodon running back. Inadvertently, he's headed it with pace, and Hennessy made a reflex save. Robinson with a cross, and the header goes wide from Josh Sargent running in. Couple of chances there in the space of, 30 seconds for the US.
Yeah, first one down the right-hand side, lovely ball over the top for Weir. Takes it on the volley, and then he crosses it on the volley from the right-hand side with his laces, pings it towards the penalty spot. And it's Rodon that heads it, he tries to head it clear over the bar. Keeper makes a really good save just to help his teammate out, and then Sargent from the left-hand side heads it at the near post, and it hits the post at the near post as well. So 2 dangerous moments there, one from the right, one from the left. They're keeping the ball very, very well. They're moving it very quickly at the moment. They've had most of the ball.
James Collins watching back in Salford, that was a double scare.
Yeah, it was. You've got to say, been impressed with USA's start. Wales struggling to get on the ball, and it looks like they're going to, USA are going to have most of the possession, and Wales are quite happy to sit back. But you've got to say it's an impressive start from the USA.
Certainly is, and Hennessy, man of the match for his 9 saves against Ukraine in that World Cup playoff back in June. I know he's played very little football for Nottingham Forest, but it was just an instinctive save.
Yeah, you know what, I think I'm not giving him enough credit for that save. He was 6 yards out, Rodon 6 yards out, and he saved it with his right arm and bounced it away out of trouble as well.
That was a strong challenge that Dest has put in on Nico Williams, and the referee from Qatar is going to show a yellow card to Serginho Dest, the 22-year-old. Catching him on the knee.
Yeah, I actually think it might have been his trailing leg. There wasn't any problem on the replay I've just seen of studs or anything. It was Nico Williams. His ankle was caught underneath the body of Dest. He did fly in at pace, to be fair. It's quite reckless, so the referee got it right on the halfway line, right in front of the dugouts.
Might just give Wales an opportunity just for a little bit of a respite, because the US have certainly had the better of possession so far, 66% in the opening 11 minutes. That is still 0-0. So Dest shown the yellow card as it goes back to Hennessy, all in green away towards our right-hand side. Building slowly from the back, Wales. Here is Rodon once again. Missing, of course, Joe Allen, which is a huge blow. And they didn't want to risk him. And then, of course, for him to have a recurrence of his injury. Hasn't played since the 17th of September with a hamstring problem. He's got to be eased back in. So they will hope that maybe he's able to return for the next game against Iran on Friday. As this time, it's McKinney who comes in. And Weston McKinney is shown a yellow card. And again, it was Nico Williams who was taken out from behind.
Yeah, that's naughty. That's a naughty tackle from McKinney there. He sort of launched himself from about 5 yards away on Nico Williams. Nico Williams is right in front of the USA bench, and there's another big squeal from Nico Williams. I think it was his ankle again. He's up on his feet again, Nico Williams. He's walking fine, but a couple of lunges there from American players, unnecessarily so, no danger at all. And now I can just see centre halves, the big lads of Wales are going up. The ball's right in front of the USA dugout. This is going to be launched into the box.
This is where they'll miss keeper more, certainly. Kellen Acosta, who plays for Los Angeles, a teammate of Gareth Bale, has been saying that Gareth Bale was saying he's tried to avoid being kicked by Kellen Acosta in the last 2 weeks in training. They're taking it out on Nico Williams here today, the Americans, but it's a free kick which Harry Wilson is going to take. He's come into the side instead of Kiefer Moore on this near side, the left, all in red, 0-0, 5 live and BBC sounds. Almost midway through the USA half. Diagonal ball, Wilson, launch very, very deep. Rodon gets his head onto it, headed out by Dest. Comes onto the half volley, and Ampadu hits it first time. Couldn't keep it down off his right foot, over the crossbar out for a goal.
Yeah, that's a really difficult one, that. Harry Wilson just sticking it in there with his laces right to the far post. It's kept alive, and Ampadu's about 25 yards out. It's a really hard strike on the half volley as the ball's coming up off the grass, off the turf. He's trying to strike it back into the grass again to keep it low, and he just didn't catch it right. High and wide.
Would you be tempted now, Dion, bearing in mind that the right back Dest is on a booking, to get the ball out to this Wales left-hand side for Dan James, just to try running at him a couple of times, to just maybe try and tempt him?
100%. Get the ball to Dan James right in front of the dugouts.
Ball up it goes towards Bale. The little flick didn't quite come off. Lusso was there to win it back for the US. As here now is Tyler Adams, and with Ream at a walking pace. And now goes back to his central defensive partner. Both are fair-haired, both have their hair tied up in a ponytail. There's the bushy-haired Adams in the midfield. Leeds fans will have got used to seeing him in the midfield at Ellen Road, as Wilson there was just caught a little bit by Sargent. He's hobbling a little bit as the United States have once again got the ball back with Dest up towards Weir on this near side, the right. We've been playing now for just over 15 minutes. It's with McKinney. Adams outside the centre circle. And then he forces the ball back, and that's going to mean that Tim Ream has got to retreat midway through his own half there, and Wales as a result can push on.
Yeah, everything's going through Adams in that midfield. Seems to be the catalyst. He seems to be staying in the centre circle. Everything's being bounced into him, and it's bouncing out again. He's keeping it well. He's always on the half turn. Adams, when he receives the ball, always tries to pick out somebody running forward.
Ream's forward ball cut out by Gareth Bale, picked up now by Wilson running back, sees it all the way back to Rodon, passes it out towards that far side, the right for Connor Roberts of Burnley, and then Wales go back to Hennessy. haven't really seen much of Wales as an attacking force in these opening 16 minutes.
No, they're wanting to keep the ball. It's just been moved a little bit too slowly at the moment by Wales. They've got to try and be a little bit more forward thinking.
Ball swept forward by Hennessy, headed forward by Nico Williams. Ramsey tries to get forward from the midfield, and it is indeed a Wales throw in front of Greg Berhalter, a former Crystal Palace player. As now Ramsey volleys the ball towards Bale. Bale controls it, passes it forward, headed out by Anthony Robinson of the United States, and then Robinson gets it and dispossesses Wilson quite comfortably. His former, in fact his current Fulham teammate, of course, out with Musa on that far side. He pings it across now towards Dest, from the left to the right, and Dest likes to get forward, and at the minute he's taking James with him as Dest on the inside. At the minute it's a back five rather than the three central defenders with the wing-backs. The United States are taking Roberts and Williams back on the right and the left.
Yeah, the USA at the moment just seem to be the side that are comfortable in possession, seem to be the side that are willing to gamble with that pass forward to try and split defences and get in between the lines. The more positive football is coming from the USA. They've had the ball from the majority of the time as well.
Well, the President, Joe Biden, on the conference call to the United States team, he said, "Coach, I'm ready to play." He said, "I know you're the underdog. Let's go show them. Let's go get them, guys," in a true American style.
I thought that was him then. I thought that was him.
Well, they're not quite playing as the underdog at the minute. They are taking the game to Wales. They're trying to do that. Go get them, guys. Here is McKinney, cut out by Ben Davis. Ramsey, a little bit leggy in the midfield there, and he's lost it. Adams, Musa, Robinson, he's pushed forward. Pulisic makes the run. At the minute, you could be forgiven for thinking that the United States are actually playing with wing-backs, but they're not. They're playing with a flat-back four, but they're getting the full-backs forward at every opportunity, both right and left.
Absolutely, they're actually gambling when it's going down the right-hand side. The left winger is finding his way forward as well. They're both getting forward. They don't mind. Robinson and Dest, they'll get themselves forward. They'll help out, getting crosses in the box. They just look very comfortable in this 4-3-3 that they're in at the moment, the USA.
Hennessy with the goal kick. Gareth Bale just inside his own half, heads it back to Roberts. Ampadu playing in the midfield, his forward ball. Wilson plays it back, and on the edge of his own penalty area, it's with Rodon, who's playing his football on loan from Tottenham now at Rennes. He's played 14 appearances for the French club. Not many options, so he has to go long and give James something to chase. James is a willing runner on loan at Fulham, and America see it all the way back to Turner, their goalkeeper, and then they play out once more with Dest across his own back towards Reed. USA is the chant once more inside this stadium. Still 0-0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Dest to McKinney. McKinney shrugs off the challenge of his opposite number 8, Wilson. Williams and Wilson. Ampadu getting up towards James midway through his own half. America, though, are still working hard. They'll have plenty of energy. Their average squad age is 24. It's the second youngest in this World Cup tournament, behind Ghana. So these fresh legs of the United States will run, you would imagine, because I've got to say, it's a very, very cool evening, isn't it, Dion? From the temperature isn't a problem at all.
The tempo of the game is okay. The tempo of the game is okay. The temperature is just nice. You've got your nice shorts on, three-quarter length trousers, should we call them, and t-shirt. You seem to be very happy in that look tonight.
He's told the shorts have got to drop below the knee.
Yes.
Plus, as well, you don't really want to see my knees.
Below the ankle, or did you say?
Still 0-0 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. and it's been a very cautious start by Wales.
Yeah, and at the moment Wales at the back just trying to draw the USA out. They're not having it at all. Sargent and Weir and Pulisic, that front three, they're not being sucked in to squeeze the keeper to try and force Wales to play. They're saying to Wales, come and play through us, come and play around us. Are you good enough to do that? And Wales at the moment don't seem to be good enough to do anything to trouble this USA side.
When I said about the temperature, I then looked at the time, and no wonder the temperature's not a problem. It's 10:20.
Yes.
You sometimes forget. I've been hearing tales of people scraping frost off the windscreens back home, and it's foggy and cold. One of my mates is walking his dog listening to BBC Sounds, and he said it's freezing, and here we are in shorts and t-shirts watching this goalless game at the World Cup. This is Robinson on that far side. Short diagonal ball to Pulisic, able to turn. Pulisic now for the United States. Robinson's continued his run. He crosses the ball into the penalty area, and then Ampadu just clatters the ball away. James Collins, what have you made of the Wales start?
Yeah, they're struggling to get a foothold in the game. You've got to give credit to USA. You know, they're working really hard, stopping Wales playing through the lines, and even when Wales do win the ball back, you know, that first pass, they're giving it away, which means, you know, they can't get at the pitch, and at the minute, USA are the dominant team and really pushing for the first goal.
Still 0-0, yeah, it is the United States who are completely dominating. James Collins, over 50 caps for his country. Of course, part of that Euro 2016 side that did ever so well, and the last time, of course, they were in England's group, as they are in this World Cup. They topped the group, of course, at Euro 2016 ahead of England. So James watching back home, Dion Dublin with us here, but Wales have struggled, lacking ideas.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe they just don't seem to want to play it into that midfield area. They're holding it at the back and it's going back to the keeper. They're putting themselves under pressure because they're moving the ball too slowly. And at the moment they're allowing Pulisic to turn around and face their back four, which is danger in itself because he's got so much vision. This is better from Wales. 5 or 6 passes.
Ramsey curls the ball out towards the right-hand side. He gets it and now links up players. He passes it out towards Bale. His pass, though, behind Ramsey, as it's won back, though, by Ben Davies. But Ben Davies now coming out of the left side of the three at the back. Then temporarily there was a little bit of a gap. Ampadu had seen that and was just filling in. And in fact, here is Ampadu as Davies tried to get it back for Wales. But they can't hold on to the ball at the minute, Wales. They haven't had a sustained spell in the game. Here is Ramsey. He was caught late. Tyler Adams was the offender on this occasion. We've already had 2 yellow cards. That potential lack of discipline might still cost the United States.
Yeah,
We've already had 2 yellows.
Yeah, I think it was Ramsey in the middle of the park, a couple of yards from the centre circle, and he felt that Adams was on his way in. He sensed him. He's that good a player, Ramsey, and as Tyler Adams came in, he sort of jumped out the way, and there was no contact, no booking, free kick.
He was just given a warning, was the Leeds United midfielder from the Qatar referee.
Yeah, I seen Pulisic as well, just waving his finger at the referee to say, calm down with the cards, calm down with the cards.
Wales have lost the ball again. James Weir crosses it in field. Pulisic, central position, passes the ball out towards Robinson. The left back joins the attack. Diagonal ball in towards the penalty area. Good header out under pressure from Ben Davies, because he had McKinney in front of him and Weir had made a run round the back of him in his own penalty area. Out of play it goes for a throw, and they are being forced back at the moment. Need to try and get some sort of a footing in this game. Still 0-0.
Yeah, they need to. What's happening at the moment is the ball's getting dropped into the midfield, and it's getting dropped into the 4 players in red shirts. And Wilson and James and Ampadu and Ramsey in that central area. They're not being able to hold on to the ball. You're going to have to take a bit of contact from behind. Hold on to the ball, get your team up the pitch, because at the moment, every time it goes into a red shirt, there's a USA shirt all over them, putting them under pressure, and more often than not, the USA have got it back.
Well, Wales will play all 3 group games here. The next time that they're in action is Friday when they take on Iran. England will face the United States on Friday, and then of course on Tuesday the 29th, the final group game, it's England-Wales, and the US take on Iran. But because they've got Iran next, who were beaten 6-2 by England today, if they can get something out of this game, a point, look to get maximum points against Iran, then they'll be in a very good position on 4 points. It's the thunderclap you might be able to hear, and it's being generated by the United States supporters around the stadium, as they have certainly had the better of these opening 27 minutes. Still 0-0. Pulisic to Adams. There's a poor first touch, went away from him. Can Wales benefit if they can hang on to it? They pass the ball into the centre circle for James. Ramsey's gone forward and Wilson looks for him over the top, but again it's an awkward ball for Ramsey to control. He's hit it left-footed, diagonal, out towards the right-hand side. It's around knee height, and Ramsey can't bring it under control. Runs off his foot, out for a throw.
Yeah, the ball's too big. Whether the ball's too big for Ramsey or Ramsey doesn't go wide enough. They were both wrong. The quality wasn't there. Ramsey's run wasn't wide. He should have got his heels right on that right touch line and should have been able to take the ball down on his chest. Just that little bit of quality Wales are lacking at the moment, and confidence as well, by the way, on the ball.
Robinson from left back, strong run, crosses the ball. Sargent waits in the penalty area. Wilson flicks it away around knee height on the edge of the penalty area. James takes a tumble, and once again, as it goes up towards the centre circle, there must have been 4 white shirts there that were quickly on it and winning it back for the United States.
I think that's the energy that we were talking about from the USA. They won't stop running. They've had the quality as well at the moment in the middle of the park. Defensively they look very good as well. You can see just whiz past Ramsey there very easily with the ball.
This is Musa, teenage midfielder, to Dest, who shoots from distance. Must have been a good 30 yards out from goal, right-footed. It was always on the rise, and into the red wall it goes, and out for a goal kick. Still 0-0 as we approach the half-hour mark.
Yeah, it's all America at the moment. They are total domination. Wales finding it hard to get out of their half, and every time a red shirt gets it, whether it's in midfield or up front, white shirts everywhere, working really hard, squeezing. When they get the ball, they calm down and they start to pass at their pace.
You can have your say tonight, whether it be on Wales or England or anything else as well, with 606 from 10 o'clock with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage, 08085 909 693. Chris, who was part of the commentary team with Ali Bruce Ball, watching the Netherlands beat Senegal earlier by 2-0. He's now back in his apartment. He's probably donned those orange pyjamas, and he'll be presenting those for 606, I'm sure, a little later on as well. Maybe that's not an image you'd like to conjure with too much. Don't dwell on that, as it goes all the way back to the American goalkeeper, who is decked out all in orange, Matt Turner. But the USA have seen so much of the ball, but for all of that possession, there was just that double scare in the space of 30 seconds when Hennessy saved from his own player Rodon, and then the cross came in from the left-hand side and Sargent went close. Apart from that, Wales have actually restricted the United States to few opportunities, but they build once more through the middle. Sargent back towards McKinney. Musa comes forward, left corner of the area, out towards Robinson, far side. His cross takes a deflection, sliced in the air by Ampadu. Drops 25 yards out. Bale is there to head it back towards Ramsey. Little touch from Bale. And that was a late challenge on Ampadu, which was spotted by Abdulrahman Al-Jassim. And the boos from the American supporters, but it will be a free kick to Wales. Yeah,
I need to see more from Wales. I need to see more positivity from Wales as well. Haven't seen enough as yet. See, Gary Wilson there, he's just been dragged over by the manager. information's been passed on to the pitch. Get the ball forward, get the ball to your forward people, be brave, take a bit of contact. I've seen nothing from Wales at the moment. Need to see more. You can't defend for the whole of a football match and expect to win on the counter-attack every single time. Get the ball down and be confident.
That's Dion Dublin with us here, as it's still goalless. Pulisic drops into his own half. Forward ball to McKinney, passes it one touch out to Robinson midway through the Wales half. Robinson runs in field, McKinney takes over. That splash of red, white and blue in his hair. Weir, 360-degree turn, 25 yards out from goal. Dyed hair of Dest, and now it's with Adams. And every outfield player now is in the Wales half. Wales are all in red. They're playing from right to left. But it's the United States who are probing. And Wales just can't get onto the ball. As here is Pulisic. And the United States will certainly be growing in confidence as they try and prise open this Welsh defence. Here is Ream, forward. Ramsey approaches him. Ream passes the ball back to Zimmerman. Now it's with Dest. Weir tracked by Williams on this near side. They go back once more. McKinney's gone forward. Pulisic's gone also into a central area. Robinson's now making a darting run in off that left-hand side. As Pulisic once again, he was barged off the ball. That was very, very late by Mepham. And again, the referee spotted it. I actually thought the way that the referee raced over to Mepham, he was going to brandish the yellow card, but he's clearly saying to him, calm down. But Pulisic is demanding that he's being shown a yellow. And he's got away with one.
Yeah, Pulisic knows exactly what he's doing. He's got the ball in the middle of the park, and Mepham just shoulder barges him to the floor.
Pulisic with the cross, and it's blocked, and it goes out of play for a corner kick. That will have fired up Pulisic, who's been dubbed Captain America by his fellow players and the supporters of the United States. He's 53rd cap for the US tonight, and it is the Chelsea player who is going to take the corner kick. Now there are a cluster of white shirts to aim for inside that penalty area. It's drilled over the head of Zimmerman, headed out by Ampadu. Robinson takes it away from James. Right-footed passes the ball to the left-hand side. There's an overlap there if they want it. Pulisic, though, goes into the penalty area. Cleared by Roberts. And now with Ream. But once again, the US are maintaining the pressure on that Wales defence. Musa, left-hand side. Pulisic waits. Pulisic just starting to edge his way towards. Block comes in from Roberts. James Collins, there's no respite for this Welsh defence, is there?
Don't know. Wales really struggling to get out of their own half. Looking at Wales's formation, I know USA are playing, their full-backs get forward and playing high. They're pushing our wing-backs right back, and every time we sort of get on the ball, we can't keep it. So Rob Page has got a lot of thinking to do, whether he changes formation or maybe brings Kiefer Moore on to sort of try and go a bit more direct. But at the minute, you've got to say USA have been superb.
Yeah, that certainly was the surprise of He did talk very, very well about Kiefer Moore, just saying about what a great story it is for him, and top professional, and more than a handful, a willing runner, links up the play, not just physical, but and then of course he doesn't feature. But Pulisic now is running forward, and he threads it through, and here is Weir, and the United States has scored. That goal has been coming. Pulisic was the architect, and Timothy Weir latched onto it and put the ball low past Hennessy, and the United States deservedly are ahead. They lead Wales by a goal to nil.
Yes, you can't let Pulisic turn and face your defence, because soon as he gets past that midfield, soon as he breaks those lines, soon as he finds himself in that pocket of space 25 yards out and he's running at your two centre-halves, all he needs is a runner. Weir gives him the run, Pulisic gives him the ball, Weir gives him the lead.
He'd made that run coming in off the right touch line. And to be fair to him, it was a very good finish. With the outside of the right foot. Composed finish from Timothy Weir. With his 4th goal in his 26th appearance. The son, of course, of George. And Timothy Weir gives the United States a deserved lead.
Yeah, you can't afford to allow a team with their tails up like the USA, all that possession, all that time on the ball. You can't sit back and absorb all that pressure and hope to get to half-time 0-0. Hasn't been good enough from Wales.
Bale spreads it out towards Nico Williams. He was the player who he couldn't keep up with Weir. It's his cross, and it's just too deep and over the head of Gareth Bale, and it goes out for a goal kick. But now, Dion, with 8 minutes to go to half-time, and the United States leading by a goal to 0, as Wales go forward looking for an equaliser, they leave themselves at risk, susceptible to the counter-attack with the pace that we know the US have got.
Yeah, well, with the team that was picked tonight, with Wilson and Bale and James being their furthest forward, and then that tells me they're going to have to try and play through the thirds. Keeper Moore doesn't play, so you have to play through the thirds because there's nobody up there that's got to take weight, bring it down, get your team up the pitch. And now, for the first time, we've seen them get a crossing. They've conceded a goal, they've put a crossing, a little bit of quality. They may get a chance. They just haven't done enough at the moment.
We said before that Pulisic has been dubbed Captain America. I've just seen one supporter here of the United States, a woman who's dressed as Wonder Woman. I don't think it was it Linda Carter who was Wonder Woman?
It was Linda Carter, yes.
She was also next to well, I presume it was a guy, judging by the size of him, dressed as an eagle, who I'm sure will be shedding a few pounds in that end away towards our left-hand side. The United States, though, are leading by a goal to 0, and at the minute, Wales are going to have to regroup because they have been very much second best in this first half. Haven't really spent any time at all in the United States half, haven't looked like scoring, and have found it really, really difficult as they return to the World Cup stage for the first time in 64 years. Back in 58, they drew all 3 games in the group stages against Hungary, Mexico and Sweden. They would gladly take a point because at the minute, trailing by a goal to 0, something drastically has to change for Wales to try and take this game to the United States as Ramsey goes forward, headed away. Been no problems whatsoever for that United States back line. Haven't been tested at all.
No, they've had an easy night tonight. Zimmerman, Ream, Robinson and Dest, quite easy back there for them.
Noosa picks it up, challenge from Bale, who rolls away in frustration at the decision from the referee, and I think with his actions he's now been booked by the Qatar referee. So Gareth Bale goes into the book for that challenge on Noosa.
Yeah, we're just seeing the replay there, challenge on Noosa from Bale. I don't think that's a free kick at all. That's definitely not a yellow card. May have clipped his heels, but there's no malice in that at all. He gets both feet on the ball. Didn't see anything wrong with that challenge at all.
Here is Adams for the United States, who lead by a goal to 0 as we have about 5 minutes to go to half-time. And then Kelly Cates, who's with us here in the stadium, will reflect a little bit more on that England win. We'll certainly hear a lot more from James Collins as Pulisic with a cross from the left-hand side, caught by Hennessy, claimed comfortably in both hands as he moves off his goal line at his near post, and then the underarm throw out to Ampadu. And then after the game, Kelly will be recording a World Cup daily podcast that you'll be able to listen on the various outlets, of course BBC Sounds primarily, so as well as the commentary throughout every game of this World Cup. 5 Live and BBC Sounds is the place for that. It also has the World Cup daily podcast every day. The reaction, the previews and the analysis from all of our pundits who are out here in Doha. Williams heads it forward. a minute, we'll be hearing from a very disappointed Rob Page as Wales have struggled. Free kick taken quickly by Davies, clips it long. Ramsey looking to try and make that run forward. Does he win a corner? No, it's prevented from going out by Tim Ream. They haven't had a presence up front. I know they've lost the focal point in Kiefer Moore, but they haven't had that player to just somebody to aim for.
And if you've got to play a certain way, if you need to get out and get up the pitch, then you need a focal point. They at present haven't had enough quality to play through the thirds. And
Davis was looking for Gareth Bale, but Tim Ream headed it away quite comfortably. Ball goes loose. Musa with a middle flick. Adams can run onto this ball and he carries it over the halfway line, and we've got 3 minutes to go to half-time. And Adams now just comes to a standstill and then back towards Des. And it is the United States who are dictating the tempo of this game. They're leading by a goal to nil as we edge our way towards half-time, and they look very, very comfortable.
They look like they're enjoying themselves. The USA, Pulisic just strolling about in that number 10 role, just playing in behind Sargent, going where he wants. He looks a completely different player that we see in the Premier League, I've got to say.
Here is Ampadu now coming forward for Wales, all in red, playing from right to left. Ampadu switches play out towards this near side for James. James now, well, Weir was back there quickly. They doubled up on him really there, as Weir it is who closes down James. Rather than looking to take him on, he goes back. I sense that he wanted him to be more positive.
Yeah, he's got to take him on. He's one-on-one. That's where you want Dan James. You want Dan James in a one-on-one situation, right wing or left wing. Knock it and run. Don't try anything fancy. Knock it and run. Create something for your side. Don't go back. They're back in their own third now.
Here is Mepham. Rodon with a swish of his right arm is urging his Welsh colleagues to go forward. Here is Ramsey. Gareth Bale was caught late there as Ramsey plays a 1-2. And they get a corner kick. Now, they haven't had too much success, and this in fact is the first corner for Wales. First corner of the game, and it comes 90 seconds before half-time, and it's Wilson who trots over towards the far side.
Yeah, just make sure it's quality, put it in the right area, get your centre-halves up, give yourself a chance. You can nick something now before half-time, going even Stevens.
The US supporters are extremely vocal. There's a lot of stars and stripes flags in that lower tier as we look away towards our left-hand side. So Wilson waits to take the corner on the Wales right. In it comes now, and the referee's not happy. He's blown his whistle, and he's now talking to Ramsey. Ramsey looks completely shocked. Whatever's been said to him by the Qatar referee, Ramsey looked completely bemused. So the corner kick will have to be retaken. We're inside the last 60 seconds of the 45. Wilson, right-hand side, plenty of lock. In it goes to a crowded penalty area. And it comes off the head. I think it was a Ben Davies who was up there, and it drops well wide. No problem towards the goal of Matt Turner. And it's the United States who lead by a goal to nil. And I can't recall too many stoppages. I don't think there'll be too much stoppage time.
No, we might get a minute, maybe two, if we're lucky. We've got 4. Not quite sure what that's for. That 4.
If ever there was a curse on the commentator, that was certainly one. 1-0 to the US. McKinney's forward ball blocked by Williams.
I think you can see one of the telltale signs of this USA side being incredibly fit is all those ricochets off the feet and off the knees, and the balls that don't quite make it into the player that you're trying to find. The white shirts getting there every time. They look sharper.
Here is Robinson. Not too sure they'll be as adventurous when they play England on Friday with the fullbacks. If they are, the pace of Sterling, Saka and co could have an absolute field day, because it would leave the 2 centre-backs extremely exposed. Here is Dest, again high up, midway through the Wales half. in stoppage time of the first half on BBC Radio 5 Live. And Wales are trailing as Gareth Bale, 29 minutes of football since the 18th of September. He might be feeling the effects. I know we talked a little bit about McKinney hardly playing for Juventus since the end of October. He was a real doubt as far as Greg Berhalter was concerned. They have had packs of energy, and certainly not more so than Yunus Musa, this 19-year-old from Valencia, who actually was at the Arsenal Academy for 7 years, and then he moved to Valencia at the age of 16. Made his debut against Wales in November 2020 in that goalless draw. That, of course, was Rob Page's first game in charge.
Got to be careful.
And here there might be another booking, and it is Chris Meckham, who's been shown a yellow card.
Yeah,
he got away with one earlier on, but again it's another foul on Pulisic.
Yeah, it was very clever from Pulisic down the left-hand side. He sort of received it on the left, right on the halfway line, left wing. As the USA go forward, he sort of controlled it with the inside of his right foot, and then he moved it with the outside of his right foot towards the touchline. All in one movement. Mepham just didn't have quick enough feet to deal with it, and he just grabbed his shirt.
So that's 4 yellow cards, 2 apiece that have been shown. Robinson, the left back, forward on that far side, over his head, one bounce in front of that wall of red. The 3,000 Wales supporters who have been silenced with that goal from Weir 9 minutes before half-time, as Hennessy prepares to take the goal kick. And certainly it's going to need a much improved second half performance from Wales.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Kiefer Moore doesn't start the second half for Wales. They need the outlet, they need somebody up front to occupy Ream and Zimmerman, give them something to be worried about, because at the moment it gets forward, it goes forward, and they give it away, or they run out of ideas. They are better than this, Wales, but at the moment we haven't seen half the team they can be.
They just look so disjointed.
Yeah, they do.
They can't string passes together.
No, they don't seem to have any confidence, yeah, albeit they haven't had much of the ball in the first half at all, and when you haven't got the ball, you're running around more, you get tired, so when you get the ball, you're playing with tired legs.
The United States 1, Wales 0. And stoppage time must almost be over, and in fact there it is, the shrill of the referee's whistle, and it is the United States supporters who rise to their feet and wave their flags and cheer off their team, because a dominant first half performance and a deserved lead through that well-taken goal from Timothy Weir. Pulisic with the assist, and Kelly, the United States lead Wales by a goal to 0.
Deno, thank you very much. Dion, it was a good first half performance by the USA, but they were allowed to take control of the game by Wales, and that goal had been coming for a long time.
Yeah, from minute 1, Wales seemed to sit on their heels, allow USA to have the ball, and they've got some good technicians in there. I've got to say, Adams has just dominated things in the middle of the park. Pulisic's doing what he does, making great runs, but I've got to mention Sargent up front, down the middle, centre forward. He's occupying the whole of the defence, he's making great runs, which led to the goal actually. Sargent goes out the way, makes a run very unselfishly. Weir makes the run in the space that Sargent's left, and Pulisic's always got to find him. The quality, the energy, the organisation is so much better from the USA.
James Collins also watching this one. James, as Dion said, Wales can be so much better than this. How do they show it in the second half?
Yeah, it's been a tough watch the first half. You've got to give credit to USA. They clearly watched Wales play, done their homework. You know, we like to get the ball down and get through the lines, and credit to them. They've been athletic, energetic, and they're closing down, but there's been no plan B. Wales have kept trying to get Gaz, Bale on the ball, Dan James, Harry Wilson, who've all three of them hardly had a touch first half. So if I was Rob Page, I know I've said it, earlier on in the commentary, it's screaming out for Kiefer Moore for me. You keep trying these passes in the midfield and they're pressing. If USA are pressing, you've got to go over the top or down the sides of them. That's what I'd be doing, and I'm sure Robert Page would be thinking about the same.
and he's left that as an option. Do you think his plan was to go into this and try and play, maybe not quite as defensively as they have done, but to try and just keep it steady until the break?
I don't think they've gone into it negatively, or that's the way we've played. You've got to give credit to the USA, the way they've pressed pressed Wales. They haven't given them a chance to get the ball down and play. As soon as they do win the ball back, Wales, they're trying to play out, trying to play that first ball into the front three, and they're giving the ball away, and then straight away you're back defending. So it's a big half time for Rob Page. He's either going to have to change formation or change personnel, but there'll be a few words in that Wales dressing room at half time, I'm sure.
James, thank you very much. For now, James Collins with us right through till 10 o'clock here on 5 Live Sport as we bring you the second half commentary of Wales against the USA. USA leading this one by 1-0 at half time, scored by Timothy Weir after 36 minutes. We'll get second half commentary with Ian Dennis and Dion Dublin very shortly, and we'll get more reaction to England's 6-2 win against Iran earlier in the day. That's coming up after the BBC News with Matthew Bone.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022
on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Lawyers representing Shamima Begum, who had her UK citizenship removed after joining the Islamic State group in Syria, says she was a victim of human trafficking. Miss Begum, who left the UK as a teenager in 2015, is making an appeal in court to have her passport restored. The government says she still poses a security threat. Rescue workers in Indonesia's West Java province are working through the night to look for survivors in the rubble of a devastating earthquake. More than 160 people are known to have died and hundreds more have been injured. The RMT union says it's highly likely it will announce further strikes tomorrow after accusing train companies and Network Rail of not tabling an offer that would resolve the dispute. Operators have urged the union's leaders to commit to protecting the first post-COVID Christmas period from travel disruption. And NASA's space capsule Orion has reached the moon 5 days after it was launched into space from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The unmanned vehicle is the first of a series of flights aimed at returning humans to the moon by 2025.
It's 50 years since England and Scotland's first ever official Women's International.
We were just girls playing football, but we didn't realise we were making history.
I'm Anita Asante. In my new podcast series, I'm going to learn more about the women who played that day in 1972.
I went past one person and shot, and it at least gave us a chance. We were 2-2 then.
And how it led to a brighter future for the Scottish game and onto England's Euro 2022 glory.
I feel so lucky listening to those stories. Attitudes like that are what has taken the game to how it is today.
My Moment in History, kicking off the women's game on BBC Sounds.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Kelly Capes.
And we're at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium in Doha this evening for the Qatar World Cup opening match of Wales. They're facing the USA, who lead this one by 1-0. It's a bit like a Coldplay concert at halftime here in the stadium. They are playing Coldplay, and it seems to be most of the USA fans who've got their torches on their phones held above their heads and putting on something of a light show for us at halftime. The match itself back underway very shortly. We will have second half commentary for you, but in the meantime we can get more reaction to England's 6-2 win against Iran. Their attacking performance put smiles on a lot of faces, and it impressed some of the players too. Alex Howell's been speaking to Mason Mount.
If someone said to us at the end of the game that we would obviously get 3 points and win and score 6 goals, you'd be absolutely buzzing. But I think still with our high standards, we don't want to concede them goals, but we're buzzing, yeah. It's a great way to start.
Extra good feeling because of the pressure you came into, form maybe coming into this tournament?
Yeah, I've spoke a bit about it before. I think form coming in doesn't play too much of a part. I think in the World Cup anything can happen, and today, the way we started the game, the confidence we had to play and use the ball and have possession, even though they wanted to press, I thought we played around them very well and we showed unbelievable character, and we want to win every single game in the group, so a massive game coming up against USA.
That was England's Mason Mount, and 5 Live will have commentary of Friday's match against the USA, commentary of all 64 matches in this World Cup. Jack Grealish scored England's last goal against Iran. His celebration was a tribute to an 11-year-old Manchester City fan called Finley. He has cerebral palsy. He'd already met Jack Grealish, and Finley was delighted to see his hero keep a promise that he made. Grealish was only too happy to do so.
Obviously I met young Finley before, about a month ago, and yeah, got on obviously really well with him. Having cerebral palsy like my little sister as well, so he asked me to do a celebration for him, and luckily for him, it come at the World Cup. That's what it's all about. For me it's just obviously doing a celebration, but for him, that will mean the world to him, I'm sure. So Finley, that one's for you.
It was obviously amazing because he's my idol, so if you see your favourite person do what you asked them to do, I was just like, Killer! When I saw on Twitter it had 4.3 million views, so it really gave me confidence that people like me and want me to do good. Very inspirational because he sticks to his word and he's truthful. He's going to do the Finley signature celebration. Come on, Grealish, you can do this, I believe in you.
That's 11-year-old Manchester City fan Finley. He originally asked Jack Grealish to do the worm, but they agreed together that his celebration would be a slightly simpler version of that, and Jack Grealish delivered for Finley in that England game. England delivered as well. 6-2 victory for them. Lots more reaction to that on the World Cup Daily podcast. You can subscribe on BBC Sounds. That bonus World Cup Daily with reaction to that England result and performance is available right now. And if you want to talk to Robbie and Chris on 606, the lines are open. They're on air from 10 o'clock, but you can call now on 08085 909 693. And if you want to send a WhatsApp with a voice note, the best of those will be read out after 10 o'clock as well. Again, 08085 909 693. Now, after the England game, Iran coach Carlos Queiroz said fans protesting against the country's ruling regime should stay at home. Some Iranian supporters inside the ground booed the national anthem before the match. They also wore T-shirts and displayed banners in support of protesters in Iran. The Netherlands beat Senegal 2-0 in their Group A match. Away from the World Cup, Rangers have sacked their manager, Giovanni van Bronckhorst, after 12 months in charge. He leaves with the club 9 points behind Celtic in the Scottish Premiership. Our Scottish football reporter Roddy Forsyth joins us for more. Roddy, we were at Ibrox for that heavy defeat by Liverpool in the Champions League, after which you said he was on borrowed time at Rangers.
I didn't expect him to have so much time to borrow, to be truthful to you, with you, because I thought it wouldn't take long for him to be out of the door. The only surprise about his dismissal was that it took so long to happen. The man who succeeded Steven Gerrard last season had taken Rangers to a Europa League final, won the Scottish Cup and qualified for the Champions League group stage, but then it all turned to dust with, as you say, the 7-1 battering by Liverpool at Ibrox. And that became part of the low point of a Champions League group campaign that was the worst in the tournament's history. And don't forget, the domestic background was hardly any better. A 4-0 thrashing by Celtic, setting the tone for a run that now sees Rangers, as you say, 9 points adrift of the champions. And that's well before the halfway mark of the Scottish Premiership campaign.
Halfway mark, but the next game isn't till December the 15th. It feels like a sensible time to make a change in terms of manager, purely because the incoming manager is going to have time to work with those players who are available.
Those players who are available is the crucial phrase. To be fair to Gio van Bronckhorst, he'd lost a full team of players to injury, and these are players who would almost certainly have started or at least played significant parts in the games that went against Rangers. Now, of course, every manager can say that. Every manager who is lower in the league always says of managers towards the top, yeah, well, that's what it's like for us, mate. But it means that whoever comes in as his successor will have a full squad almost certainly, because virtually everybody who's been on the casualty treatment table is going to be back after the World Cup.
So what kind of manager are they looking for as a successor? I see the names like Sean Dyche, Michael Bale. What are you hearing?
Well, these are the names you'd expect the bookies to be punting. Ralph Hasenhüttl, for example. Michael Bale. He knows Rangers, of course, has worked with Steven Gerrard. And then there are others like Kevin Muscat, a former Rangers player who was in charge of Yokohama Marinos. The obvious parallel there is Ange Postecoglou, who came from the same team. And perhaps Rangers might think that they too can raid the Japanese league to effect. And then you might think of an outsider, one that I haven't seen quoted much, David Martindale, Rangers supporter in charge of Livingston, who are currently 4th in the Scottish Premiership. But remember, at the moment, much of this talk is fooled with the bookies, because it's good business for them. This is what we're used to, this is what we've seen them with. That's why we see the likes of Sean Dyche and the likes of also Keitel Knutsen, who's made headlines with Bodo Glimt this year. I think whoever comes in is going to have demonstrated that he understands the Scottish game, and in the case of Rangers and Celtic, that means understanding that you have to beat the other one and have to finish above the other one. You know that yourself. And you have to also be able to make the use of restricted resources compared to what you might have had if you've come from clubs in England, France, Germany, the Netherlands, that sort of thing.
Roddy, for now, thank you very much. Roddy Forsyth with the very latest there on what's happening as far as Rangers are concerned. Our focus this evening, of course, is on the World Cup as Wales get their campaign underway with a game against the USA. Second half of which is coming up with USA leading by a 1-0, and then at 10 o'clock it's going to be 6:06. Rick Edwards is back from 6 tomorrow morning, as he is every morning throughout the World Cup, when he'll start all the build-up, and he particularly loves a voice note. So when he how much Wales have missed him as a focal point and his presence. You heard it from Dion during the commentary, you heard it as well from James Collins, is keeper Moore. And so he is the player who's going to be coming on. And while we wait for the fourth official, it is going to be, to put up the board, it will be Dan James, who is the player who's coming off. So Harry Wilson, who's not really had much game time, 7 appearances for Fulham this season. It's Wilson who comes off and keeper Moore who's on, Kelly. James Collins, it was the change that James wanted to see, but the music is just starting to die down. The players lined up to kick off in this second half. We'll get James' thoughts on this after the game. Wales then trailing USA by a 1-0. Can they get back into it in the second half? Dion Dublin, Innie and Dennis.
Well, they're playing from left to right, thanks Kelly, in all red. And this is how they line up, with Hennessy in goal, a back three of Rodon, Mepham and Davis. Roberts and Nico Williams are the wing-backs, right and left respectively. Ampadu and Ramsey in the centre of midfield, with Wilson, Moore and Bale as a front three. But it's the United States who are quickly on the attack, with Musa on the left-hand side, and straight away this teenage midfielder wins a corner off the outstretched legs of Chris Mepham. And so the United States, predominantly in all white, playing from right to left, have a corner kick on this near side the left, with Matt Turner in goal, a back four of Dest, Zimmerman, Ream and Robinson, McKennie, Adams and Musa in the midfield, Pulisic, Sargent and Weir, the goal scorer, as a front three. So Wales have got everybody back bar Bale. In it goes now. Keeper Moore using his physical presence to good effect to head it away. Anthony Robinson then passes the ball down that right-hand side. It's with Timothy Weir, who does a little step over, not once but twice, and then passes the ball back, as the United States once again have just quickly settled in and seeing a lot of the ball, as we are waiting to see what response Wales will have from Keeper Moore's introduction. Weir's going to surely be offside as he runs towards that ball. There's the late flag. It'll be a free kick to Wales. So Rob Page has made the change that everybody was crying out for.
Yeah, he has, but I'm surprised that Dan James is the one that's come off, to be honest with you. I'd have been very inclined to go two up top. Make sure those USA defenders have got some work to do. Here he is.
Ball played up towards Moore. All of a sudden, what's been lacking in that first 45 minutes is evident now for all to see in these opening 90 seconds. He holds the ball up well, he brings others into play. Ampadu, they're able to get further up the field now, Wales as a result, but Robinson digs out that clearance and Ampadu goes strong in on that 50-50 challenge with Pulisic. Last touch off Pulisic. And now, in this three-tiered stadium that holds 40,000, they are attacking the end where that big block of red, the red wall, are housed. Away towards our right-hand side. Davis to Rodon. Rodon finds Mepham midway through the Wales half. Back to Rodon. The United States, though, were pressing, unfairly so, in the eyes of Abdul Rahman Al Jassim from Qatar. As Wales have a free kick, Ramsey's little flick tries to get on the outside of Robinson, who's too strong for him, to Tim Ream. Ream guides it all the way back towards Turner, the goalkeeper, in luminous orange, right-footed downfield, headed back forward by Mepham. Mepham's header goes astray. Pulisic now picks it up for the US, but he's overhit that and straight through to Hennessy. Where in the past, in the first half, when Wales had the ball at the back, Dion, they were a little bit ponderous, but straight away, a bit more urgency as Hennessy's rolled it out underarm, and Williams on that far side was quickly onto it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the boss has said, listen, have some more confidence. First few minutes, the ball goes into the big man up front, keeper Moore, and it's the first time in the game where Zimmerman and Ream have had to take their time. They've had to not dive in. They haven't had control of the situation. They've got up the pitch now. They're in the final third of the USA's half.
They were toothless in the first half. Here is Moore, pinned in towards the corner flag near side, helped out by Ramsey. Ramsey trying to get away from Robinson. Wales have got a corner kick, much better. Already Wales are starting to see the benefits of Keeper Moore, and we've only been playing for 4 minutes in this second half as they trail by a goal to nil on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And it's Wilson to take the set piece on this near side, the right. Ramsey stands in front of the goalkeeper, who's struggling. He's dropped it, flicked away. There's a kick in the head there of one of the Wales players. It might be Mepham who's actually gone down from a stray boot, but the referee has already spotted something and has given a free kick to the United States.
Yeah, what a difference already, Kiefer Moore. There's the in-swinging, just watching the replay of the in-swinging corner. Maybe a high boot in there. Keeper doesn't take it cleanly. Loads of red shirts around him, loads of traffic. Massive difference now. They can get up the pitch. They're playing a little bit of football in the USA's half, and they look a different side at the moment when they've got the ball.
Here is Pulisic. Releases Musa away on the left-hand side. Roberts has to get back goal side. Musa enters the penalty area, though, and the cutback was cut out by Rodon. Loose ball, though, quickly picked up by Pulisic. Left-hand side of the penalty area, enters the box, loses the ball. Ramsey now can try and run away. Pulisic is back at him, but he finds Bale, lets it come across his body. Bale clearly fouled by Ream. And it's going to be a yellow card that is shown to Tim Ream, the third player from the United States to be booked.
Sorry, Dano. Yeah, that's Wales forcing the USA to defend, running back towards their own goal, being brave on the ball. Lovely bit of skill from Ramsey in the middle of the park, sets it into Bale's feet, lets it run across him, and Ream just can't handle that little bit of skill.
Well, that's 5 yellows in total. The United States are still leading by a goal to nil. Keeper Moore loses out, but then snaps back into the challenge with Anthony Robinson. And the decision goes in favour of Wales. It'll be a Wales throw on this near side. They're right as they play from left to right. We've been playing for 6 minutes in the second half. You heard Rick Edwards with his voice note talking about his guest tomorrow morning at from 6 in the Tiramisu Lounge, 5 Live breakfast, reflecting on England and Wales. This opening game, or their opening games in the World Cup. Can Wales salvage something from it as Ream was forced to head the ball back towards his goalkeeper as it just popped up with the presence behind him of Aaron Ramsey. It's an overarm throw out now by the goalkeeper, and Anthony Robinson will run forward, and in the end the challenge comes in from Ampadu about 25 yards out from goal. And here is Ampadu with a forward ball to Ramsey, who's stayed forward. He lays it off. Wilson, little touch to Ben Davies, diagonal ball to Ampadu. Ampadu comes under pressure. The United States are pressing Wales there, but they've got it out to Mepham, along the ground up towards Moore, on the halfway line, challenged by 2 United States players. And now the ball is spread out by Joe Rodon, but it's encouraging.
Yeah, it is encouraging because Kiefer Moore comes on and he holds on to the ball, and what he does, he moves that defence about a little bit just so there's more spaces for his teammates. So if he does hold on to the ball and he drops it off into midfield, he's actually made a gap for somebody else to run into. So yes, it is encouraging, need to see it more.
The red wall, as the Wales supporters are affectionately referred to, are singing the name of Kiefer Moore. 7.5 minutes into the second half, Wales looking for an equaliser. Here is Roberts, just short of the halfway line. Back it goes to Mepham. Square ball that Rodon will pass forward. Wilson was under pressure from McKennie, and the ball goes astray. James Collins back in the studio. Have you been encouraged by the introduction and the impact that Moore has appeared to have made?
Yeah, for sure. I know it's a noticeable difference. I think 2 minutes in, the ball's played down the side, and we talk about Kiefer Moore being a big lad, but he works hard. He run the channels, and that's what was needed. Get the USA defence running back towards their own goal and putting them under a bit of pressure. So hopefully we see more of it, in the coming minutes.
Well, they're on the attack once again. Again, we didn't see hardly anything of this from Wales in the first half. It's with Nico Williams, but McKennie was back there and puts it out of play for a throw. Whether it be for James Collins listening or anybody else of a Welsh persuasion, the United States have only kept 2 clean sheets in their last 27 matches at a World Cup. As they lead, it's a slender lead by a 1-0. Roberts, near side the right. Challenged by Musa. Back it goes, Mepham. Building from the back, Wales. Cross it goes to the left-hand side. Davies towards Williams. Harry Wilson, who seems to be dropping a little bit deeper in this second half alongside Ampadu. Ramsey has gone into a more advanced position. Bale, of course, is up there as well. Here now is Roberts on the halfway line on the right-hand side, but because of the tightness of Anthony Robinson, the left-back who was pushed on him, he forced to go back. But Wales are at least growing in confidence as they see much more of the ball.
Yeah, the problem they're having at the moment, though, the midfield is full of white shirts because Gareth Bale and Ramsey and Kiefer Moore and Wilson are all in a line up front.
Ampadu releases Nico Williams. He's got space to run into. Williams enters the penalty area with a cutback by the penalty spot, cleared away by Ream. Only as far as Roberts, central position, midway through the United States half. Roberts gets the return ball, or look for the return ball from Bale. But there was the interception, and Pulisic can bring it away. And this is something we touched on in the first half, that all of a sudden, as Wales go in search of an equaliser, the United States will be able to, with the pace and the energy levels that they have in their side, will look for the counter-attack.
We can actually see in this passage of play, Wales have had the ball for a little bit. USA have had to run around, and now they look a little bit leggy on the ball. They can't go as quick as they wanted to because they've worked so hard to try and get the ball back. They're in the situation that Wales were in the first half. They're a little bit slower, moving the ball forward. There's a mistake because Wales have kept the ball better.
Well, Rob Page said yesterday that we are here to compete. There's no pressure on us, but we're not here to make the numbers up. There might be a few surprises. The United States were reveling in their role of being the underdogs, but you just sense that there's a momentum here that is building for Wales as Ramsey tries to release Harry Wilson. But Wales are starting to ask questions of the United States.
Yeah, they are, because they're being braver on the ball. Ramsey's getting the ball in the midfield area. I want to see Ramsey in there as well. I want to see Bale just off Kiefer Moore, so he's affecting the game as well. They're playing 1 and 2 touch now. They're playing the right pass at the right time, and they're taking the ball in, taking the contact and being brave.
I think Wales thought that should have been a corner kick, but the Qatar referee has indeed said it's a throw. From that throw, it comes into the penalty area. Ramsey is there. It's a good header out by Ream under pressure. Further headed away by Tyler Adams. But Wales will try and win it back with Ampadu. The United States had every white shirt back in their own half there as Wales go all the way back towards Hennessy. His arms are out wide. He wants width in terms of the options as he passes the ball forward. 12 minutes into the second half. Wales, though, seeing much more of the ball. Here, though, is Mepham at the back. Ramsey's wanting to make a run through the channels. Instead, it goes to Roberts on this near side, the right. Over the head of Ramsey it goes. Moore will make the run in behind him. And he forces Tim Ream to concede a throw. So much better. Ramsey will leave it for Roberts. We're approaching the hour mark. Roberts right up against the advertising hoardings, waiting. It was for Mepham to join Kiefer Moore. Ramsey and Bale. It's going to be a long one. Long throw into the penalty area, headed out by Robinson. And the referee has spotted a foul there on Pulisic, and it's gone in favour of the United States, who still lead 1-0.
Yeah, that red wall behind the goal that Wales are attacking, they've got to be happy with that. They're singing Kiefer Moore's name. I'm not surprised because he's holding the ball up and he's allowing his team to get up the pitch. USA at the moment not as comfortable as they were in the first half. This game's kind of evenly matched at the moment. Apart from the scoreline, Wales looking so much more in control when they have the ball. They need to do more, create chances. Create chances now, that's the next step.
Really was a disappointing first half for Wales, but this is much more like it. Ramsey just slightly overran it. Dest tucked in, right back, runs forward now, brings the ball out of defence, forward ball to Sargent, well-timed challenge by Rodon for Wales. And now they might be able to exploit the gap that had been left by Dest on the left-hand side. In comes the cross, Moore couldn't control it, fractionally behind him. Right-hand side, Roberts with the cross, Wales threatening, headed out by the US. Williams just outside the D, can he get a shot away? Goes the long way around and waits. Williams still has the ball at his feet. The United States did enough to prevent him from getting a shot. As Roberts swings over a cross, it's delivered very, very deep, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. It's so much better.
So much better as well. The movement and the composure on the ball. You can hear that red wall now. They know that Kiefer Moore has made a difference. USA have to find another gear now. They're not having it having it all their own way like they did in the first half. Have they got enough now to keep Wales at 1-0? Can they do it? Have they got the skills and the organisation?
Slip from Matt Turner as he takes the goal kick for the United States, who still have a slender lead. We've been playing for an hour on BBC Radio 5 Live. You can also listen on BBC Sounds, so particularly tomorrow when we've got those 4 games. Our coverage starts at 9 in the morning. With BBC Sounds you can take 5 Live with you. Argentina, Saudi Arabia from 10. Denmark, Tunisia at 1 in Group D. Mexico, Poland back to Group C it goes. And then France against Australia. Kiefer Moore from distance shoots into the legs of Ream. Cannons out towards the right-hand side. Roberts plays it back. Much more urgency from Wales now as well. Ben Davies lifts the ball out towards this right-hand side. Robinson will head it away for the United States. Pulisic's touch tries to take him away from Mepham, who holds him off. And a good little tussle between the two. Welsh defender came out on top there. Here is Wilson. Central midfield role just outside the centre circle. Ampadu's ball was a rather tired one and it's cut out, and Musa now can bring it away. And he passes the ball to Pulisic on this near side, the left. Pulisic, slow pace, slows it down. Musa just in front of the watching Greg Berhalter. And Robinson opens it up and goes infield. And Zimmerman out towards Dest on that far side, the right back, where the goal scorer, Weir, drops back, and all of a sudden now the United States, for the first time in quite a while in this second half, are just starting to string the passes together. And Weir round the back, delivers the ball early. Pulisic is arriving, challenge comes in from Roberts, and the referee says Roberts got the ball, and a goal kick has been awarded. Just on the edge of the penalty area. He had to get that one right.
Yeah, he did. It's a lovely early ball from the right-hand side across the edge of the 18-yard box. And I think he may have just got this. Yeah, it's a really nicely timed tackle, by the way. Really nicely timed tackle.
It was booed by the American supporters, who I think, instead of chanting for USA, they'd have been chanting for VAR. But play was quickly back underway. Moore, good little dummy, runs through to Ramsey. He now finds Moore. Moore with a cross. Roberts will try and keep it in play. Well, he prevents it from going behind, but instead has knocked it out for a throw down by the corner flag. 62 minutes played, the United States still lead 1-0.
It's amazing, isn't it, if you just play to your strengths. If you haven't got the players to play through the thirds, if you're not confident to do that, if you're not happy to deal with making things happen, play to your strength, get the big man on, get yourself up the pitch, get Kiefer Moore bullying those defenders, and then you can start to play your game.
Looks like there's going to be a change down below. Might well be Brendan Aronson of Leeds United who's going to be coming on. And we certainly know that he's got plenty of pace and energy, as that was a challenge on Roberts from Musa. No action's going to be taken. Let's go back to Salford and the thoughts of James Collins. James.
Yeah, Denny, Wales looked like a different team. Dion's just touched on it then. You know, credit to USA, they did stop Wales playing the way they wanted to through the lines, but certainly since the start of the second half, big key for Moore. You know, he doesn't win every header, the ball's not got to go to him, but what he does is he disrupts the whole back line, running in behind with his challenges, and the likes of Aaron Ramsey, Gareth Bale, you know, they can get up the pitch and get on the second balls, which they didn't do at all first half. So, you know, hopefully it can continue for the rest of the game, and we see Wales get back into it.
The voice of the very experienced former Welsh international defender James Collins here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and certainly Wales will hope that something can come from this set piece. On the right hand side, just in from the touchline, Wilson to take it, arcs its way in, headed away well under pressure by Zimmerman, downward header by Mepham, tries to go for the second aerial duel, Davis flings himself at it, and then a flying save by Matt Turner, and Wales was so close to an equaliser. What an acrobatic save from Matt Turner, as the two players from North London were heavily involved. It was a great effort from Davis. In comes the corner kick now. Wilson, though, was stopped from taking it. The referee has spotted infringement, but what a save from Matt Turner, the Arsenal keeper, to keep out the Tottenham defender. Wales so close, but such agility from the 28-year-old American keeper. Wilson delivers it, and the glancing header from Kiefer Moore is over the top, and Wales once again go close.
This is better. This is better. A more even game we have got now. Lovely in-swinging cross. Keeper thinks he can get there, but Kiefer Moore just gets across the keeper, and he just puts a little bit too much on it. These times he's run absolutely spot on there. Ends up in the back of the net. Just seeing that save again. What a save that is from Turner, by the way. 6 yards out from Davies, but Kiefer Moore has changed the game. One man has changed the whole outlook of this game.
A one-handed save from Turner, and Kiefer Moore then with a header. As we mentioned before, that McKennie had struggled, really hadn't played since the 29th of October. And the Juventus midfielder has come off, and Brendan Aronson of Leeds United has come on for his 25th appearance for the States to join his Leeds teammate Tyler Adams there in the midfield. And Aronson quickly finds Pulisic, who's able to turn inside the centre circle. A diagonal ball, they force Josh Sargent out wide. The Norwich player holds onto the ball. Now it's with Robinson. So familiar faces and names in this United States setup. Here is Dest, Champions League experience with Milan this season, of course. 66 minutes played, and the United States still lead by a goal to nil as Dest loses the ball. No foul, says the referee. Nico Williams now runs over the halfway line on that far side, the left. Manages to find Moore in the inside. Moore has support. Gareth Bale, who's been quiet up until now, loses the ball, and Aronson will run away. And Aronson, as Bale tries to get back at him, and Bale does succeed, gets a toe end into the challenge, but Bale, struggling for fitness, won't get up that loose ball, and is beaten to it by Tyler Adams, and the United States are back in possession, and the game is becoming a little bit more open now.
Yeah, it's a bit more stretched now. It's because Wales have got their tails up at the moment. USA are having to do a lot of defending. They've got the ball at the moment. But while Wales are in control of this pattern of play, they have to try to create chances.
Weir, challenge was a good one. But Nico Williams has gone down, holding the base of his back, and looks to be in a little bit of pain there as he tried to get that block challenge in. I think he might have just been caught by a stray boot from Weir.
Yeah, maybe a knee in the back.
Knee in the back.
Yeah, a little bit of a knee in the back as he towed that ball out of play. Looking at some pictures of Rob Page there, he's rubbing his head, he's thinking, what do we do now? We're playing well, but we still haven't got back into the game. The Red Wall are helping now, we can hear them.
They're trying to do their bit, trying to get Wales for what would be the final quarter of this game and get something from this opening match in Group B. The winners will play the runners-up of Group A. Ecuador, Senegal, you would think, if it pans out the way that many are expecting, the runners-up then would take on the Netherlands, if of course they do go on to top Group A, and they won by 2-0 against Senegal earlier. England 6-2. Bellingham, 2 goals from Saka, Sterling, Rashford and Grealish, and that'll be reflected tomorrow on 5 Live Breakfast, as well as the World Cup Daily podcast that is always available through BBC Sounds. Now we're going to have, could be a triple substitution for the Americans. Certainly Kellen Acosta, Gareth Bale's teammate from Los Angeles, is one of the players. Just trying to look at who else is. DeAndre Yedlin is another one. Now plays for Inter Miami, but of course formerly of Tottenham, Sunderland and Newcastle United, as Pulisic waits to take the corner kick. United States leading by a 1-0, just over 20 minutes remaining. Pulisic far side the right, it's an outswinger, it's headed away by Moore. Adams directs his header back out towards Pulisic, 6 yards up from the byline on that side. Up against Gareth Bale, delivers the cross, headed away by Ben Davis. Wilson almost caught in possession by Pulisic. Pulisic though manages to win it back off Gareth Bale. Pulisic dispossesses it, cross blocked. The United States still threatening. Low ball comes in from the right, off the chest of Ramsey, and then cleared away by Ampadu. At the minute, it's a slender lead that the United States have. There's still hope for Wales to get something from this game. A second goal though for the US, and that really would be a body blow for Wales in only their second World Cup in their 146-year history. Ramsey lays on the inside. Ampadu, Bale and Moore were trying to link up. The little flick by Gareth Bale didn't quite come off, giving the ball away. The United States now with Musa on this near side, the left. And Musa knocks the ball out of play for a throw. And now we can see these changes being made by Greg Berhalter. And there was a player, I said before in the first half, he's the first person to represent the US at a World Cup as a player and a manager. Beat Mexico, but lost to Germany in the quarterfinals by 1-0. So the changes that are being made, and the other player is going to be Haji Wright, who plays his football out in Turkey at Antalyaspor. He's 6'3", he's an aerial threat, and he will give a little bit of pace as well. But is that Pulisic coming off, or has he just been told to leave the field of play after that latest challenge, as the 3 substitutes wait to come on? So play yet to resume, 19 minutes remaining. James, how confident are you that in the 19 minutes that remain that Wales are able to get something from this contest?
Well, yeah, they're certainly building the pressure. A bit of a lull in the game since the start of the second half now, but I'm just looking at the bench here, Deno. why not get Brennan Johnson on? He's quick, he's attack-minded. Get him up top, close and around Keith Moore to get on the second downs and give USA something else to think about in the defending third.
The play's back underway thanks to James Collins. We'll be hearing more from him throughout the course of the game and at the final whistle, which is about 18 minutes away now. The United States with Dest on that far side, the right. Got Dion Dublin here, a familiar voice, of course, on BBC Radio 5 Live alongside me as Ramsey slides into the challenge to win it back. Still those three players wait down below to come on for the US. Here is Roberts midway through his own half. He goes back towards Mepham. And in fact, one of the coaches is just telling the three players to limber up and keep moving, because they've been down there for 2 or 3 minutes. They were just standing still. So they're jumping up and down on the spot as Rodon. His ball has been cut out quite comfortably by Musa. And Musa now runs forward for the US. And he's 25 yards out from goal. Pulisic is to his left. Pulisic enters the penalty area. Pulisic with a cross. And Aronson was arriving and couldn't connect with a header as he leapt into the air. Williams brings it away for Wales. Williams up into the air towards Gareth Bale. Bale tries to direct his header. Moore's a willing runner. Robinson will beat him to it. Up it goes towards Pulisic. Off the chest. Lays it on the inside. Tyler Adams, 6 yards short of the halfway line. Musa's gone down with a touch of cramp. So much for the young guns from America having bags of energy. It's the 19-year-old who's the first one to wilt.
You can't put the ball out for cramp. That's not there. That's not right. That's not right.
It's going to be Josh Sargent who's going to be coming off. So that is a like-for-like change, with Wright coming on for the Norwich City player. The other change is going to be DeAndre Yedlin for what would be his 76th appearance, again like for like, replacing Serginho Dest, the Milan defender who was booked earlier in the half. And then Musa, who's got the cramp, is going to be replaced by Kellen Acosta, who again has a lot of experience, over 50 caps. He had a 2-year absence when he returned to the side in December 2020, but then from 2021 has featured quite predominantly in this United States setup. So he is a regular feature in the midfield. Fresh legs for the United States with 16 minutes remaining. Clearance from Turner towards Wright. Finds Pulisic, runs forward. Pulisic with a cutback, dug out well by Davis, tucked in, cleared it away inside a central area of the penalty area. Back towards Robinson with the cross, headed away again by Davis, doing his defensive duties, who at the other end earlier in this second half came so close to being a Welsh hero with the equaliser. Right with a header as it came in from a long way back actually on the right-hand side. He was actually only just inside the penalty area, but Wright's header well off target.
Yeah, the USA subs have injected a little bit of a spark, moving the ball a little bit better as well. Acosta up top as well. Yedlin, we know he's got lots of experience, international level, league level. He'll get on the ball, he'll make things happen as well. I think Wales have got to start to get the ball into wide areas and get it crossed. That's what they have to do.
Williams didn't keep the ball in play. It'll be a United States throw deep inside their own half. If it stays like this, certainly Wales would be under pressure. Although, as James Collins will tell you, they were under pressure against Russia back in Euro 2016, and it didn't do them any harm in that tournament. But England against the US on Friday, whilst Wales are back here in this stadium to take on Iran. You'll hear both games, as you will for every game, on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sound. But the United States are attacking, and Pulisic to Robinson, back towards Pulisic. It's just fractionally away from him, and it enabled Ampadu running back to just clatter it off his toes and behind for a corner kick to the US.
Yeah, I thought Ampadu might have been able to just take a bit of pace off that one and just keep hold of the ball, a bit calmer, panicked and just launched it out. I'm not sure if he went for a corner or a throw-in, but Pulisic's on his way over there. I think it's a corner. Yes, it is.
So Pulisic to take the corner kick on this near side, the left. They lead by a goal to nil. Pulisic with a delivery towards the far post, comes off the back of the head of Aronson, and out it goes for a goal kick. There is a fact, or as though David Pleat would tell me, is it a quirk or is it a fact? But the USA, in their previous 10 World Cup appearances, when they've lost the opening match, they've been eliminated at the first stage. When they've avoided defeat in their opening match, they've progressed in all 5. They lead still 1-0. More. Out it goes towards that far side to Nico Williams. Left-hand side with the cutback, reaches Roberts. Roberts, edge of the D, to Ramsey with his back to goal. Inside right, channel the penalty area, back to Mepham. Mepham scoops the forward ball into the box, cleared away. Wales try and win it back through Williams, and then Yedlin slides and clears it away for the US. 12.5 minutes remain. Wales are looking to try and finish strongly, but the referee has stopped play. Harry Wilson complains. I think he's trying to say to the referee, it's not a head injury. Why have you stopped play?
I mean, he's holding his foot, isn't he? I think it's Weir. It's Weir, isn't it? I think Weir's just holding his foot. You know, James Collins is watching as well back in Salford, and they aren't going down easily, aren't they? Killing the game. Ginge.
Yeah, Ben, the Welsh players are right. You know, the rules are you play on unless it's a head injury, and you know the referee's a bit eager to blow up. He's given a few soft fouls, and USA are just trying to kill the game here, which you know is not great for Wales. But you know, I mentioned it before. You know, to me, Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey are looking a little bit tired now. You know, a little bit lack of football. So it's good to see Rob Page making a substitution, and hopefully it can benefit Wales.
And it's the player who James Collins was calling for as well. Brennan Johnson has come on. He's replaced Nico Williams. So they'll just switch now to a flat back four. Ben Davies will go as the left back, Roberts as the right back, and then he'll be left with Mepham and Rodon as the 2 central defenders. Johnson wearing the number 9. Wales are all in red. They're playing from left to right. Johnson now occupies a position on this right-hand side. Bale and Moore have gone central. And then you've got Harry Wilson now operating on the left. He switched once more with Ramsey. Ramsey's gone more into a more deeper position alongside Ampadu in the centre of midfield.
Yeah, and I think that's where he needs to be, Ramsey. He's a clever footballer. He can see a pass, he can pick a pass, he can execute the pass. Get yourself in midfield, get on the ball, start making things happen. Leave Bale up front, Kiefer Moore down the middle. I'm glad to see Brennan Johnson on as well.
Wales have just over 10 minutes as they trail 1-0. Roberts hits it forward. Brennan Johnson up against Anthony Robinson and keeps the ball in play. Not once, but twice. Instead of going out for a goal kick or a throw, Wales then still have the ball. Ampadu's forward ball will go out of play. Johnson takes the throw quickly. Ramsey makes the run into the penalty area behind Conor Roberts. Bale brought down penalty. Wales have a penalty. It was a clumsy challenge. And Wales pressure finally tells. And they have, maybe with VAR to look at it, but I can't believe that VAR would rule this out. To the naked eye, it looked like a penalty. Zimmerman catching Bale. Such a clumsy challenge. Dion.
Completely right, clumsy. Great work from Johnson though, takes the throw in really quickly on the right hand side, puts Ramsey in, Ramsey just pulls it back towards the spot, and Zimmerman thinks easy clearance. Bale turns up from nowhere and just puts his leg in to control the ball. Zimmerman goes through him and the ball, definite. Bale's got the ball in his hands, cool his head on the pitch.
Gareth Bale, 16 years in the Wales setup. It talks yesterday about this being a massive piece of history for our country on a night where he's equalled Chris Gunter's record of 100. Bale waits. He's up against Matt Turner. What a moment this is for Wales on their return to the World Cup after an absence of 64 years. Gareth Bale, who secured the winner against Ukraine, now has a chance to get an equally valuable equaliser here against the United States. Bale with a penalty, scores off that trusty left foot. Gareth Bale has delivered on the biggest stage of all, to the sheer delight of Wales. They have salvaged maybe a valuable point. The United States won, Wales won. Gareth Bale.
What a penalty. Gareth Bale sticks it in the top right-hand corner. He's celebrating with the red wall behind the goal. Absolutely coolest head on the pitch. Most experienced player on the pitch. He's won everything. And he gets his team at this present point a valuable point as well. Gareth Bale, what a penalty with all that red wall on your shoulders. Excellent penalty, excellent penalty. One each, game on.
Gareth Bale, 5 Champions League trophies, 16 major honours, Wales record goal scorer on the World Cup stage. And Wales are back alive and kicking in Group B. 1-1. And how long do we have remaining? 7 minutes. But James Collins, you've room with this guy. It had to be Gareth Bale.
Yeah, I was just saying he looked a bit tired, but if there's ever a man in that position, such a big penalty in the early stages for Wales of this World Cup, there's one man you want on it. He stuck it away, and a call for it. Brennan Johnson, good play to get the penalty, nice and sharp, gets on the ball, making things happen. And it's a stonewall penalty, and like you say, the main man's put it away, and we're right back in this. And I can see Wales going on and getting another one.
His 41st goal in his 109th cap. And Gareth Bale, who, since the start of Euro 2016, has now been directly involved in 42 goals. He's scored 29 of them. No wonder he is the talisman. Been there, seen it, done it at every level now. And Gareth Bale will be able to say, I've scored at a World Cup finals, but what an important goal it was as well, Dion. Bearing in mind that they were under pressure, trailing by a goal to nil, and they knew that they had to get something from this game. And now actually Wales, as James Collins quite rightly says, they're thinking of going on to win it.
Well, Page has made all the right moves. Second half been completely different. They've taken the ball by the horns and they are giving it a proper go.
1-1. The ball hit long, looking towards Johnson. The United States, who it's got to be said in this second half, haven't really created anything of note. Roberts with a long throw, which sends that momentum shift as the referee gives a free kick in favour of the United States. Well, we said at half-time that it had to be a much improved performance in the second period, and it has been exactly that.
Yeah, second half's been rolled, reversed. Wales have been positive, keeping Moore's command, made a massive difference. They're having to defend now, this USA team, and they haven't defended that well.
Acosta forward for the US. On the overlap is Anthony Robinson. Anthony Robinson with the cross. It was aimed in the direction of Timothy Weir. Wales get it away, picked up by Tyler Adams. Johnson on defensive duties. Adams, though, wins it back for the US. Under 5 minutes remaining. BBC Radio 5 Live. Tyler Adams now towards Zimmerman. Just a rush of blood to give away that penalty, as Greg Berhalter is looking at making another change. And it's going to be Jordan Morris who's going to be coming on, who's a forward. Actually had 5 appearances on loan at Swansea. As the cross comes in from Yedlin, flying header away. Remember, Wales have switched to a back 4 now. That was Mepham at the back. But Page certainly has made the positive changes and has been vindicated. 1-1. Aronson, right corner of the penalty area. Yedlin leaves it once more for the Leeds player. Weir takes over. His cross in towards the penalty area, just over the head of Pulisic. Robinson in a tussle with Johnson, keeps the ball in play, and then that's a foul on Brennan Johnson. There's a tangle between the two, but Anthony Robinson actually prevented Johnson getting onto that. There was no attempt to play the ball. He's fortunate to get away without a yellow card.
Yeah, maybe. Good battle though, good honest battle between the two players. I don't mind that whatsoever. Good work, Robinson. Johnson, good tussle, good honest tussle. Referee got that right, just a free kick. Just looking at the screen again, right in front of us, on our desk, the reaction of those Welsh fans behind the goal going absolutely crazy, and the reaction of the manager as well.
The electronic board there was wrong. I was about to say the substitute is being substituted because it put up the number 19, Haji Wright, who's only come onto the field in this second half, for Morris to replace him. And in fact, it's the 21. It's going to be Timothy Weir. So the fourth official down there had got the wrong number on the electronic board. So whilst that confusion was happening, I'm not too sure if in the background you heard the Red Wall singing Yuma Hoheed once again. That Welsh folk song, Still Here. Oh, and boy, do we know it, that Wales are still here. And they might be around a little bit longer as well, such is the significance of that equaliser. Ramsey keeps the ball in play, plucked out of the air as he cut it back from the byline on the right-hand side by Turner, who's prevented from throwing it out. The referee's given a free kick to the US. Just over 2 minutes remaining. 1-1 on BBC Radio 5 Live. Aronson. Could there still be time for some late drama? Acosta passes the ball out towards Morris. Stocky figure right-hand side. Can't get the cut back. Yedlin with the cross. Punched away by Hennessy. Yedlin lifts it back into the penalty area once more. And Roberts with the clearance for Wales. Long clearance up towards Moore. Holding the ball up. What a nice back heel that was. Keeper Moore has released Johnson. Johnson into the penalty area. The angle was tight. Shoots straight at the goalkeeper. Super play by keeper Moore.
Brilliant. Nice and strong. Gets it down. Bullies his defender. Back heel Johnson couldn't strike the ball across the keeper's right-hand side. Everybody's going down with cramp now. Everybody's shattered. Everybody's put a shift in.
Well, the United States were on the break, and Harry Wilson, I think, took one there for the team because there was again no attempt to play the ball. He just brought down Aronson. He has gone down with cramp. We said he'd only played the 7 games. Whether that's enough for him to avoid a yellow card, because the referee, ominously for him, is standing over him. But Rob Page is desperate to make a change. They want to try and get another pair of legs out there as well for Wales. 1-1, and the player who's going to be coming on is going to be Sorba Thomas of Huddersfield Town for what would just be his 7th appearance for his country. No yellow card. You can hear the boos and jeers from the strong American support, Dion Dublin.
Yes, I think he's done well actually to get away with that one. The referee maybe allowing Wilson to get to his feet, thinking it might have been a bit of cramp. It was. It's a very good tactical foul.
Well, something's not quite right there. He's got the number 9 up. Brennan Johnson's not going to come off. He's got the wrong number again.
What is he doing?
That's the second time. Anyway, play continues. Thomas waits to come on. The Welsh bench are not happy at all there with the fourth official. He's got one job. Here is Ream in the centre circle, and we are into stoppage time. They announced the substitution even before Wilson's off the field of play. He's still on there, the number 8. Here is Ream. One apiece. Haven't seen how much added on time there will be, actually. 9 minutes. That hasn't been announced to the supporters yet, but on my screen here it's saying additional time 9 minutes. So that's probably where the confusion came as the cross comes in. Unless that's actually... No, I'm not going to believe that. Here is Adams. Adams with the cross. That might be the stadium people getting it wrong when it was meant to be Brennan Johnson coming off, all from the cock-up of the fourth official. Ampadu has gone down. I'm not going to believe the 9 minutes. Although it is now being announced to the crowd, the additional time, 9 minutes. Ampadu stayed down after that firm challenge. He's gone down holding his leg. There are a lot of tired legs out there. A lot of the Wales players are suffering with cramp, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. Both teams have put a proper shift in. USA in the first half were outstanding. Wales are really poor. Second half, its roles changed. Wales have done really well. Wilson's had cramp. Everybody's had cramp. Ampadu's got cramp right now. He's been stretched off. I've seen that stretcher on the pitch. I've seen that stretcher off the pitch about 10 times. They must have done a few miles, those stretcher bearers. But it's been good. It's been entertaining.
The thing is that Ampadu is down, but because keeper Moore came on at half-time for James, we've got Johnson on for Williams, and now we've had Thomas coming on for Wilson. They would still technically have one more opportunity to replace Ampadu. So we are deep into this added-on period here on BBC Radio 5 Live, and it remains tight here in the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, and not any of that red wall is moving. There's not a brick out of place. We're a third of the way through the 9 minutes of added on. Ampadu is back on the field of play. Rob Page will be delighted with the way his side have responded. The Welsh voices are piping up once more. Ball hit long by the United States, through towards Hennessy. Underarm throw out to Mepham. Carries the ball midway through the United States half. Hits it long. Header away by Ream. Picked up by Johnson. Tries to nick it through towards Kiefer Moore. Moore on this near right-hand side, down by the corner flag. Passes the ball back towards Roberts. Wales looking for a dramatic winner. In though, the cross goes towards Gareth Bale. Tight defending away, headed by Zimmerman to repel that Wales attack. Roberts tries to head it back forward once more. Still 1-1 on BBC Radio 5 Live. A look at the watch from the referee. And the United States have a throw. Tyler Adams, just a little gentle push away from Rob Page. Rob Page actually said to Ampadu to go down there. He instructed him to go to the floor whilst before the throw could be taken. They want to make that change now.
Yeah, they have to make the change. Ampadu's grabbing his calves. He can't walk. His cramp is that bad. That's a horrible feeling, let me tell you, when you get cramp and you've worked so hard. Cramp sets in. You just cannot shake it off. You can stretch, you can rub it. You just can't shake it off. He's off the pitch now. Substitution has been made.
Been very combative in that midfield, Ethan Ampadu. Joe Morrell comes on to replace him, the Portsmouth midfielder. The final opportunity for Wales to make any changes with 4 minutes of added on time. The United States won, Wales won. And it is a free kick to the United States. Tyler Adams. Out it goes. Forced out very, very wide is Zimmerman. He gave away the penalty that allowed Wales the opportunity to equalise. USA, USA is the strong chant now reverberating around this stadium here in Doha. Ball hit forward by Zimmerman, taken quite high on the chest by Aronson, right-hand side. Yedlin's pushed up as well, takes the quick throw. Adams lets it come across his body, left-footed, goes square. Acosta, the midfielder. Now to Robinson. Pulisic. Just in from the left touch line, runs in field now. Pulisic with the cross, away from Morris. Controls it outside the area. Yedlin first time cross is a deep one. Hennessy opts to punch it rather than catch it. He was stretching for that as it was arcing away from him. And Robinson's forward ball hit powerfully back by Ream, and then Ramsey does the little step over. And the power of the ball will carry it out for a goal kick. What a piece.
Yeah, it's a good close to the game. USA having a little bit of a spell there in the forward third. Tried to make things happen, but Wales standing firm. Concentration is the key now. get yourself over the line, whether you're in a white shirt or a red shirt. You do want that point on the board.
Well, forget the first half performance, accentuate the positives. Certainly Rob Page will look to do that. The second half performance, the character that his players have shown. Don't think anybody would have doubted the mental fortitude of Gareth Bale to take that penalty. But what a crucial point it would be for Wales in this World Cup opener, bearing in mind that the next time they play here on Friday is against Iran, with a perfect chance to get maximum points. And then you're looking at 4 points going into that final group game against England. They're complaining, the United States players, but it's not a head injury towards Pulisic, so Wales quite rightly are playing on. Out towards the far side it goes on the left, and we have under 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Thomas with the cross, swung over, off the chest. Moore tried to lay it into the path of Ramsey. I thought for a minute he was going to go for the acrobatic overhead kick. Wales try and knock it back up towards Ramsey. Nicked away from him by Robinson. And Acosta can try and bring it clear. Wales win it back. Morel with a challenge. Ramsey, Gareth Bale from distance. That would be a fairy tale finish. Bale just couldn't get a sight of goal. Tyler Adams gets it up towards Aronson. Morel with his fresh legs will put him under pressure, and it's a throw to the United States, and we're inside the last 60 seconds.
I was expecting Bale to set fire to that ball 25 yards out, just on the corner of the D. Decided to try and get it to Ramsey. Could have been the last chance.
Ball played forward by Adams, cleared then by Ben Davies, left-hand side. Powerful header by Zimmerman. There was an offside flag there. Gareth Bale offside. That might be it. There's only about 40 seconds remaining. And the United States, who've only had one win in their last 17 against teams from Europe. Their last success was against Portugal in 2002. Unable to see the game out, but they were the better side in the first half. But credit to Wales, who had come close on a couple of occasions. Certainly Turner's save to keep out that Davies flying header was an acrobatic save, and then Moore went close with a header. And then Gareth Bale delivering from the penalty spot with just 8 minutes remaining. And by my watch, the 9 minutes of added on time are up. And we're at the discretion of our referee from Qatar. Here is Robinson, the left back, hits it long downfield. Roberts, rather than let it drift out of play, heads it forward, picked up by Acosta. He goes inside. Aronson, a lot of space for Yedlin, who's now played in 30 yards out from goal with the cross into the penalty area. Ramsey's header is misdirected. Morris wins it back in the penalty area for the States. Tries with a cutback. There was Ben Davies. Excellent defending again by Ben Davies, and the distribution wasn't bad either. Looking towards keeper Moore, and the Roberts had a chance there. The goalkeeper was out of his penalty area, and with the header, and then Gareth Bale outside the centre circle was prevented from having a go at goal, as Turner was making a desperate retreat because he was just basically fouled with a deliberate challenge by Acosta to stop him from getting a shot away.
I think Bale was just about, the ball was bobbling about on the halfway line. The keeper was nowhere to be seen. Bale was just about to try and chip Turner, who was scurrying back. He just had his legs taken from him. It could be an amazing challenge, that.
We're in the 11th minute of stoppage time. Thomas with a deep free kick, caught by the goalkeeper Matt Turner. And it is finished. The United States won, Wales won. And just